In America, Anthony Pratt, one of the richest people in Australia, is investing $2 billion over the next 10 years to create 5,000 manufacturing jobs here in the United States. Pratt says President Trump is one of the huge reasons he decided to make that pledge. Here's what the commander-in-chief had to say in the past about increasing domestic production.
Our strength as a country depends upon the strength of our domestic industry. We're all better off when we make, buy, and sell more products made in the USA. As president, one of my highest priorities is to restore American manufacturing. For decades, American jobs have been ripped out of our communities, industries and towns have been stripped bare, and the entire communities have been uprooted and left. But this election, the American people voted to end the theft of American prosperity. They voted to bring back their jobs and to bring back their dreams.
And joining us right now is the executive chairman of Visy Industries and the executive chairman of Pratt Industries, Anthony Pratt. Anthony, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Maria.
Well, you made a commitment last year to basically double America's food production industry to $1.8 trillion, and in the process create millions of new jobs by increasing food exports. Tell us about the pledge you made back in May and what the progress is so far.
Well, I was very honoured to pledge before the President $2 billion to create 5,000 high-paying manufacturing American jobs. And we currently have 68 factories in America employing 7,000 people in manufacturing. And so it was a great honour, and America's a fantastic place to manufacture. And since then, we've opened a factory in Texas, a $100 million factory, and we're currently under construction in just outside San Francisco in Stockton to build another one.
Are you expecting things from the tax plan, from the policies coming out of Washington to continue to encourage this? What's most important as a business manager in terms of these policies coming out of Washington that will encourage this to continue?
Well, I think President Trump's doing a fantastic job. He's created an atmosphere of that America's open for business. I think there's a lot of actual onshoring going on from China back to places like Ohio, of people actually moving their business back from China to America. America's got the lowest energy costs in the world. The productivity of Americans is at the best of anyone in the world. And I think America is got the best balance of growth and sovereign risk. In other words, not much sovereign risk. There are the institutions to protect private property here. And all of those things are the reason that we're in America, and President Trump's leadership has caused us to double down on America.
That's terrific.
Anthony, your company makes the boxes that Amazon ships all its products in.
Yes.
Tell us how Amazon is changing the landscape of the American economy and what role that plays in convincing you that you want to manufacture more of those boxes here in the U.S. rather than in places like China.
Well, Amazon is a tremendous company, and they we used to, sell all our boxes to, the Campbell Soups of the world, in other words, other businesses. And now with the advent of Amazon, so our boxes used to end up at the back of the supermarket. And now with the advent of Amazon, the homeowner ends up seeing our boxes because, instead of carrying your book home from Barnes & Noble in a plastic bag, it gets shipped to you by Amazon in a box. And I think it's one of the great examples of some of the new industries that are rising up in America that are causing a lot of job growth, which is fantastic. Companies like Amazon, companies like Uber, for example, they're all creating the new economy and tremendous job growth. I think it's one of the reasons that President Trump's been so successful in having such a low unemployment rate. And I think he's created 1 million jobs since he became president.
So wow. the box business was in China because they were shipping so much stuff back here. Are you seeing it coming back to the United States? Is this the place to make boxes?
Absolutely. In fact, Alan Greenspan used to say that boxes is a leading economic indicator because everything that's manufactured goes in a box.
I remember he used to say that. You're right.
That's right. And where we are seeing an enormous growth in demand, and the box business is, we build paper mills. We collect waste paper, we turn it into paper through our paper mills, and then we turn it into cardboard boxes. And we've got 68 factories and counting, and we intend to double that number in the next 10 years.
Double. That's
Anthony,
big.
in terms of policy coming out of Washington, what is the one thing, in order to create more jobs here in the country, what is the one thing this administration needs to do? If you had to just pick one item, what would it be?
Well, I think the administration is doing a fantastic job at the moment, just with their open for business mentality. I mean, obviously, all businesses like lower taxes, but frankly, the benefits of doing business in America for countries all over the world are tremendous. And I think President Trump is doing a fantastic job.
Is it taxes? Is it regulation? To Dagan's question, if you were the leader, what would be the one thing you would want to be sure got done?
Well, I think that the continuation of, as I said, the moral support, but the taxes are always desired by businesses as being lower. But frankly, the energy costs in America are fantastically low, and I think the policy that the administration's pursuing on a number of fronts are causing job growth.
Why wasn't the environment like this before the president? I mean, what happened the prior 10 years that was different?
I think the president has, for example, when he went out to get all those pledges from companies, and I was one of them that made a pledge to create jobs. I think the very act of calling for companies, inviting companies to pledge investment in America, I think that he had a great economic narrative around attracting companies to come to America, which I think resonated. And I think a lot of his Make in America leadership has really caused a lot of the momentum which is going to start. And I think that you're going to see that those pledges of investment to create American manufacturing jobs are going to come back into the next few years.
You make a good point, because before the president, it was a hostile relationship between business and President Obama. But President Trump is saying, we're listening. We want to talk to you. What do you need? Isn't that right, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely.